because even me with my name now, I still got to take it and hand it out. I still got to mail out the good news, right? Even in the church, you go to church where they say, you got to tell the good news, right? It's the same thinking, right? But you got to evangelize for your business or your fund or whatever you're doing, right? So I'll open up the floor now here. I think that's
Yeah, no, you've got a bunch of crazy people that are, on the same line as you. So I think Patricia had a question. I'm not sure if it was answered in that, or Andy was also had his hand up as well.
hop right in. I can't
Or
really
yeah,
spell
we'll
stuff,
just open it up too.
Oh yeah, I could go first. What's up, Jordan?
Oh,
Oh, I
there you go.
swiped. I swiped. Appreciate the gems. I got a lot. I got a page of notes. What's your like in your busy schedule, right? Like we're all busy running multiple things, live and die by the calendar, and you're shooting movies. This, your father. What's your strategy on terms of how do you put together all your content? You talked about building out funnels, cast the net wide, put a lot of content out there. Do you have a strategy behind that? How you put together the content?
yeah. So one day is just prep, ideation. Where is it going to be? What am I going to wear? What do I say? Do you want to practice it? Right? Like, what's the actual production? Because if I go on Netflix now, they go, here's what you meet, here's what you wear. They don't tell you what you're saying because it's a reality show, but like, we have a plan. So you need a day to just do ideation. Feel comfortable with your brand, feel comfortable with what you're putting out there. Then the actual day is scheduling it. It could be the same day, but there's a specific time that now you're scheduling creating it and then editing and releasing it. There's $5 editors now on Fiverr. You can just send them the video and they'll put the captions on it. Or what I'll do is the best little tip for you guys when you talk, it'll change your engagement tomorrow. Captions. You go on CapCut, you press the caption button, and you just make sure your lighting your sounds good and you rock and roll, baby. That's all you need. You don't need, and honestly, it's funny because they say UBC now is converting better than produced content. So they were showing me a case study of a really beautiful model in a Chanel, like, produced like traditional ad that we've always grown up to see. And then somebody who looks like your next door neighbor going, yeah, I wore this and I look really good, when I went to the gala the other day. And it side by side, the authentic one paled in comparison than the beautiful model. And I'm not to say that's not every vertical and everything, but that was a Chanel. They were selling their, that's why influencers are so important now. So you're going to get the hang of it. Next thing is know your edits, right? You should have a formula of how you edit. Watch the movements on your cameras, right? Watch how cameras look. I'm still studying the game in that sense. But I'll see, okay, everything seems like it's panning to the right. This one, I like this video. What do I like about the video? Be able to diagnose and break it down. Seems like he's walking forward. There's a good zoom. And then sometimes I'll ask. But the other day I saw some really good stuff. I said, how are you getting these amazing stuff? He was doing, this photographer was doing stuff for these models. He just says, I just zoom into 2%. But it gave them a beautiful profile view. You got to know what works for your business, right? And again, I'm talking in the context of real estate, but whatever you're doing, if you're a thought leader, you can create that. Podcasting, right? Anybody knows StreamYard? StreamYard now, you pay $20 a month and you build out a podcast and you make cool graphics and then you text people like me because anybody in this room wants a podcast, I'll do it. There you go, right? And that's to say there's your initiative. You wanted to get something off the ground. Now you have a somebody that you can use, right? But I reach out to people all the time because people also like to see their voice. So if you want to start breaking into a certain niche and a certain vertical, leverage people who have a reputation in that vertical too. Because if you start sitting with the who's who, they're going to think you're the who's who, even if you're not. You see how that works? It's like me taking a picture with, um, again, Bill Gates. He's around those people. I could have met him on the street getting a coffee. But maybe now I say, hey, making money moves, perception, right? It's the power of media. So plan it out, have 1 day planning, 1 day editing. If you're writing a newsletter, 1 day writing, 1 day editing your newsletter, right? Do the newsletter. If you can't get on the camera, you get that newsletter pumped out once a month. You put some market data in there, you tell people what's going on in your industry, and and you could take different photos of yourself, which is cool because it's one photo, you know. And even when I do photos, you talk about photo photography, I'll show up with 5 different looks. This one will do the blue suit, we'll do the gray suit, we'll do and you move on. And guess what? Now it seems like I did 5 photo shoots, but I did it in one shoot with 5 looks. So you have to compound your tasks, right? And I work quick. I know my formula because I watch things. I'm very perceptive now because I know what doesn't work. And I know when someone's taking my money, right? And I say this because there's a lot of guys, hey, I'll give you $500 for a couple of videos. You go, I'm paying how much for that video? I'd rather spend money on the type of content. Or there's, say, chart metric. You can find an influencer. I don't know if you guys are working on anybody working in any private equity deals, right? But like there's a thing called chart metric. I just helped the Slow Mo Institute here in New York meet a bunch of kid influencers. My friend was asking me. They just booked a bunch of people, $300 for this. Guess what? Now it's a tourist attraction in New York where it's a thing about slime. And it's always packed in there, but they want to keep the word hot. So she's like, I want to do influencers and collaborations, right? Could you throw events in somebody's space? Cross market yourself, right? Hey, we're gonna do coffees in the morning, or once a month, I'm gonna get the guys together. We're gonna do a book club, or we're gonna do an investment club just like this. And we're gonna talk about deals. Or we're just gonna watch some sports and kick it, you know? But try to own your audience. What do I mean by own my audience? Their unique email address and their unique phone numbers. Because even me on Netflix, I don't own the audience, right? They may come to me, but I don't own their unique information. I don't own their data. But with marketing, the beauty is it'll come through. I can have a lead capture up there so that I'm growing my email list. Now I can walk in and say, listen, I got an email list of 5,000 people and I want to hit 20,000 people. And I know people who do it just off their newsletter. And guess what? There's AI newsletters now. There's one that's called
Yep.
something B, like Buzz B or something with a B. And you just say, hey, you want to get the latest stock picks? Hey, subscribe to my newsletter. Grows every day, and people build it out, and they're making buco bucks doing this stuff,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, just to kind of plan it out. Put it. Everything goes in the calendar. By the way, I live my life by my calendar now. I have to, because otherwise things will get neglected. It may not be like my top thing, but like spend time in that calendar, making sure that everything's in here because even your mother gets left behind, right? And how important is family. I put family right in there too, right?
Time
Anyway, next
flies.
question.
Musa.
But it's everything lives in it, so your production days do too, is my point.
Yep.
Even if it's super nuanced and it's minimal.
Absolutely. Hey, Musa, welcome. You got a question, man? I can see you, can't hear you yet.
So James too, James just wrote about those 2 podcasts while you're coming in. Cut that up. You just did 2 podcasts. Take that and make that 100 pieces of content. Like I guarantee you, you get 15. Like I like that 15-second snippet. I like how I sounded there. I like that question he asked me. Right? You send it. You can send it to an editor. They'll cut it up for you these days. It's like $50. You just go on Fiverr these days or Upwork, and they'll do it for you. But you take that up, and that's going to be content. 2 podcasts will be content for you for the next month. Right? My job's
Yep.
done. Right? That's how you think.
Yeah,
Pretty
hey,
easy.
somebody also told me to put it on Spotify, which I thought that was a really good idea.
Put it on
Yep.
Spotify. But the key is people seeing you where they are. You're meeting because again, with the beauty is with Instagram and Facebook is that if I'm scrolling, you just pop up. I wasn't necessarily looking for you. But yes, have it on Spotify too, but cut them up into those small segments because that's really good for discovery. That first part of your funnel I was talking about a little bit earlier. Showing up on people's radar who haven't met you before. Preeti,
Yeah, let's move to Preeti.
Hi guys. My question for you is that I'm an actress and real estate agent, and lead generation has been one of the biggest challenges for me. Talking in front of the camera, talking to anybody anywhere, easy. That's stuff that you're talking about. Like anybody here ever needs any tips on talking in front of the camera, it's like eating cereal for me. So hit me up on that. I edit, I shoot my own content all the time. So when it comes to social media, I'm a pro at this point. But lead generation and getting on the phone, surprisingly hard. Not sure how to do that. Any suggestions?
And when you say lead generation, like cold call,
Well, maybe that's a Canadian thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a backwards kind of thing. But everything that was stuffed down my throat when I used to work for a big brokerage like Keller Williams was lead gen, door knock, cold call,
yeah.
etc. But I feel like those are such outdated things that I just door knocked 200 doors like last week. Zero, zero,
Uh,
zero.
I mean, you got to know what some stuff is outdated. The phone isn't, right? The phone's actually getting back in style, but you may just be doing like, look, start with emails,
Okay.
right? Cold email, cold text. Is it too much to send a text? Or nobody's
Yeah.
going to screw us now, right? Um, I see it as building relationships. If it's always cold calling and the expectation is that someone's going to yell, and they are, some of them do. But if you're really, you have to be really, this is why you have to be so end focused in mind because you know that there are, when I'm telling you, when I bumped into people and go, oh my God, thank God that somebody called me. I'm selling a
Yeah.
home right now. She goes, I was literally talking about your company yesterday and now you're calling me today. And there are people who are dying and waiting to hear us. But you want to be able to create, I think, an environment where someone can communicate with you on an honest platform, which means you got to take the sales voice out of the picture. And you
Okay.
got to get problem is people are too fake these days. Hey, this is da 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 da. You got your perfect voice on that you thought was going to really close the deal for you. When as you probably needed to call as a broker and say, hey, listen, I know you probably get all these calls all the time, but like, what's going on with your property? I saw that you try to sell it from before, but I come across it every day. Thought I might just give you a call.
Hmm.
Imagine you hear 100 broker. Imagine you hate us. Say that, right? Imagine you tear up deals often, but I got a deal for you that you got to suggest. It's kind of a reverse psychology, actually, as I say
Hmm.
it, right? Because the person is not coming like, oh, you're not really trying to sell me something. If anything, you're trying to relate to my experience. You're trying to understand me before you open your mouth. You see
Hmm.
how that works?
Yeah.
So building relationships. The next thing is it's finder, keeper, doer. And this is what Ryan told me. He spends a third of his day finding business. And now it's probably even more because, of course, we are the people that have to do our stuff. But at one point, when you're going to have your own team, right? Like you want to be able to really focus on the bottom line that makes the most sense. And there are times where I'm not associated with so much of the outcome, but the activity, especially when it's cold calling. I made 100 today, nobody picked up the phone. That's okay because I know my law of averages are still going to work in my favor. Because after that 2000 call, I know I'm going to have 3 to 4 leads and I don't need to do it forever, which is why I tell you that you should be marketing, right? Like you need to have those. If you're great at content, it's either you market yourself really well that people call you, or you got to call those people,
Okay.
right? So I think it is come up with your content strategy and beat them over the head with it, right? The one video is not enough. So you should be talking all the time, building your brand all the time, showing people everything. If you're already good at it, you just need to be doing more of it and more frequency of it. And then those pages will push you because it said that she's devoting a lot of time to this platform. Her content's pretty good. People are staying longer and longer every day. Let's make sure that her other content's going out there so that people are calling you. But until then, you need to call, otherwise delegate. You have noaccentcoldcallers.com. You got people from Egypt, you got people from Costa Rica, you got people from the Philippines, and you can get them all about $6 an hour. What's 20 hours, $120? They don't have to think about cold calling ever again.
Meaning like just get them onto I don't know what you guys in the US, but we have like a database of numbers that you can call, but there's numbers you're not supposed to call because if you call them, you get fined like $20,000. So,
They say that. I've never even had somebody like call my office twice.
okay.
Like ever. just to kind of, and I'm in New York where like they're gonna rip you to shreds, right? Like
Yeah.
I call another state, I can talk to people for hours, right? I'm not saying, listen, follow what's compliant
Hmm.
because there is a DNC list,
Yeah.
but let me tell you, I've called the most wealthy people on the phone. I've called the most well-known people on the phone, right? And like some people will be weird, and some people are like, okay, I gotta call. Like their information's out there, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get my information? Like there's 100 places with your information, Mr. and Mrs. Client, right?
Yeah.
So don't be, I think there's some conscious sort of deep work that you need to maybe do too to kind of get into a place where you're grounded with it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, as I said, do something else. But
Okay.
if you're just thinking about, I'm not cold calling, well, there's 10 other methods now.
Okay.
LinkedIn direct message, email, cold email, drop off a letter. When you door knock, did you drop off a letter?
I did. Yeah.
Great, right? But maybe is your face in it? Are you smiling? Is it a
Yeah, I
hand?
did. I have a listing in the neighborhood, so I door knocked the entire neighborhood because of my listing with my face. I wrote a letter, dear neighbor, put the pamphlet in and door knocked, and you didn't answer. I just left it in their mailbox.
You marketed.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They may not have seen it today. And that's one thing I want you guys to understand is the slow burner marketing. There's branding and then there's marketing as far as like lead generation. Like if I have a hey, call me now type of ad versus what Brian Serhant does, which is show you the grand life, and he's branding himself. He's not saying call me now. So you want to continue to brand yourself.
Okay.
Well, guess what? The 12th touch point is a lot more potent than the first.
Yep.
Hey, I don't know if you realize I knocked on your door Tuesday. Did you get my email? Did you get my mail? Oh, I've been meaning to get back in touch with you, or I have no need for it. Okay. Is it that you don't want to work with me? Is it that you have another person that you're working with? Right. So these are things I'm just here to build a relationship, right?
Hmm.
Neighborhood, be tenacious because especially with new brokers, the biggest thing is you want to know the neighborhood in and out. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if you see me everywhere, but I work really hard and I know everything about this neighborhood in and out. Right. But I would definitely probably switch to something that people use. Meet them right on their phone. Why show up at the door
Okay.
when you can show up right on their phone? They always got their phone on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Musa, so much. You feel free to shoot me a message too. I just want to kind of
Oh,
be short on
hey,
time here.
hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good now.
Okay, awesome. Hey Jordan, I have a quick question for you. So I've gotten to raise a lot of money in my past before, and the one thing I still am trying to figure out is a lot of people have been interested, a lot of people love the projects I bring, but I've noticed very few times I can get them to that inflection point where they just say yes. They commit, right? They're excited, they like you, they like the project, but everyone's on that edge until you give them that reason. So I notice a lot of people either do one of two strategies to get somebody to bend over the edge. One of them, I call them is FOMO maxing. They'll send pictures, they'll send videos showing what they do, blah, 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 FOMO max, and then eventually somebody will give in. Or the other thing is constantly do deals and make success while forcing them to be the observer. And then the next engagement you have with them, they want to they want to tip their hat in. That's what I'm noticing so far in my life is the inflection point. Is that similar in your life, or do you notice a different conversion when people just hit that inflection
Um,
point and say, you know what, enough talking, I'll convert?
um, ask for the close. I think, again, we sabotage ourselves on a certain level, right? Like we're here to talk money. We're in the game of money. You either are a player or you're not. It's okay either way. You have it or you don't. You want to do it or you don't, right? But like I think what I like to do with people is tell them that we're wrapping up this round of funding by XYZ date. And then you talk about the deals and then you paint the FOMO, but the reputation and risk are the two things I want you to really focus on in that sense. Because I tell you right now, I raise money in rooms that I never don't I never don't need it. An investor, I have a list of people that I can always tap into that were waiting for deals. So you want to have more people than you can deal with potentially. And then, as I said, it's foolproofing that offering, right? Finding the right person who invests in things that you are actually pitching on, because sometimes it's just not the right deal. Like it sounds good, but like you're just not able to get to the reason why they're saying no, right? And like those are important things, okay? And I think it's important for us to there's a scarcity mindset. It's funny because I'm doing events, a lot of events now, like big exhibition events. If the tickets are just open and selling, people don't buy them. What happens? Does anybody go out to like Ticketmaster and these things where they do the first drop,
Yeah.
then they do the second drop? It's just more FOMO, scarcity. And people say, okay, wow, I guess the first release, everybody bought tickets. I guess I gotta go. The second release, I may miss out now. Now there's a psychological trigger of scarcity that comes in. People want things they don't always have access to. So how do you make your deals less accessible, right? Less frequent, right? And more compelling. More compelling, right? And then you have to think of it in the terms of a conversion, just like anything else. Hey, for every 3 investors I pitch, I'm going to get about 1. There's going to be 10 partners on this project. Some people may pull out. Some people give you soft commitments and then they never do the hard commitment. How often do you get that, right? So what I like to do is I tell people I'm wrapping things up. Hey, listen, we're taking soft commitments now. I got X and Y, Z pledged. We're going to be wrapping up and doing all the paperwork and all the legal by this date, right? So I like to you can get the soft commitment first, but now I'm in a place where there is no soft, you either in or out, right? It's just one commitment, but you get your soft commitment for, hey, we're taking soft commitments from now. This is something you want to do. And then we're going to be wrapping up and closing this round of funding for this deal by this date, right?
Yeah.
And no, the thing is, once you take the hassle out of getting to know, and you're not like, oh, we're doing business and like that whole like celebration aspect. It's like there's an even exchange for this deal and the money that you're investing. It's a win-win, so I want to celebrate, but like I'm not like patting you on the back for giving me money either. Some of us were celebrating too soon, and like agents all the time would tell me they're sitting down, they're doing a dinner. After the dinner was over, they didn't get the deal, right? Like I keep people until I really earn respect. I'm not saying you don't, because you want to eat dinner and kick it with people, don't get me wrong. But it's the difference between are you doing that to earn their respect, or is it this is now a place that we can communicate, right? So, and sometimes I may go to a more dialed back quiet spot than like the loud steakhouse that's got the jazz singer because I can't talk and really connect, or vice versa, right? I just want to connect. So you just have to really know your audience. But then, as you said, build a FOMO. You're starting to build, getting the first guy locked in, right? How do we get the second one locked in now? Right? What kind of things can we say? Can we make sure that we're putting the offering together? Do people have the right paperwork? Do they have the right assets? Are you as excited about the deal? Because your excitement ultimately is what's going to sell it. I'm telling you right now, because I sell some tough real estate too here in the city. And if I don't believe in that deal and pitch that deal and I can fight for that deal, and that's just okay, all right, what's holding you back? And then you kind of move on after one objection. But like, let's talk about their fear. Let's talk about their apprehension. Let's talk about what they hated my team. Oh, you didn't really like that my wife was a part of it, my spouse was a part of it, God forbid. But like, you get my drift. Let's have that frank conversation. Or just maybe like, just not today, Jordan, but come back to me with the next one. Great. Now I got a pipeline ready. I need to be thinking about the next deal. A lot of my syndicators, they don't just sit on one deal. They got that deal going on, they got this deal going on, and this deal going on at the same time. And I'm not saying overwhelm yourself, but like they're just deal junkies. They can't help it. And I'll be like, you don't want to close out the other project first? Like, yeah, well, I want to buy this. I got to start thinking because everything takes time, right? Some of these projects take years to come out, so you got to be on top of it, right? Anybody else?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hopefully that was giving you, great help. And don't feel bad to put people in, necessarily, I'm not saying put people in a room, but like let them know that timing is, timing is important. It's not just, it's not a deal that sits here. A lot of great deals don't sit. Otherwise, they wouldn't be good deals, right? So we have an opportunity to get it now. I'm locking X, Y, and Z investors by this date. This is when we're closing our next round. We're taking soft commitments tonight.
And
And
maybe
it's,
maybe
yeah.
one of the things Corey and I will do, we'll set up like a little role play type session one of these weeks, and you can practice on closing your capital, because obviously that's a problem everybody has, especially these days, right? So
And you set the calls up, right? Just like if you were, have you ever done like you go to timeshare places or you go into the modeling agency, they got the next step ready. It's not like, hey, get back to me when you're ready. You're interested? Okay, let's get that second date in the calendar so we can review our data room together, right? I imagine. And then you get a sense if they're BSing or not. And that's okay. A lot of people, they're not real players in the game. Like your job is to find the guys who are hungry for deals, who are seeking these out, and who want to be a part of what you're doing. And then if you're pitching the right person, but your offering is not great, then that's the time to say, you know what, maybe I don't have the best offering, and that's why I'm not getting the yeses. But you said you've done it many a time. So it's just that little urgency that allows people to close deals, and people love scarcity. So
yeah.
definitely figure out a way to keep that. What
George,
else? Yeah.
we're running tight on time. I know we've got a couple presenters. We might have to cut it down to one.
Okay, great.
If
Yeah,
you want
no.
to hang around for a little bit more, we've got a great deal coming
Oh,
from the TR3 group. David, if we have time, we'll fit you in. If not, we'll throw you into next week. Okay, David Sampson, is that cool? But yeah, if you want to stick around, why don't you do a little plug on your show? Actually, before you do a plug on your show, you talked a little bit about networking events, in-person events. Corey and I were looking at holding an event in New York sometime in the new year, probably the first few months in the new year. I've kind of just thrown this on Corey over the last couple days.
We've
So
been talking about it for a bit.
do it
so
at my office.
All
there you
right.
go. We found our venue. So there we
There
go.
you go.
So we'll invite all the New Yorkers out there as well. And if anybody's not from New York and wants to visit, obviously come by and we'll have a good time. We'll keep it kind of exclusive, and who knows, maybe we'll help sell Park Avenue there too. But
Please, listen, there's a
Yeah.
million with anybody's name on it in the room. I'm gonna drop my information down in the chat too. If anybody ever wants to talk about, ways they can get their marketing together. We have a consulting practice too where we help people get access to some of these resources that I spoke about, among like restructuring for their business and funds and so on. So if you ever need help or ever need an idea of where direction to go in, would be happy
yeah,
to. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, Friday, if you're interested in New York, you like the game of real estate, if you followed Ryan Serhant, if you know that guy who did $1 Million Listing and has been in the industry on in the TV side of this industry for the last 13 years, his latest series is Owning Manhattan, and it comes out this Friday. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but that's not where we're here. But thank you guys so much nonetheless.
thank you,
Thank you,
Jordan.
Jordan. Appreciate you coming out and joining us and giving all of us so much great information. It's a wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you so much, Jordan.
Be in
Thank you,
touch,
Jordan.
guys.
Thank you, Jordan.
Reconnecting. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on our 3-part series with Jordan March. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and follow for more.